And Shay is my assistant, and she has been with me for a couple of years. So she kind of is my canary in the coal mine. She stays on my shoulder and makes sure when I get too far crazy and out of control, she kind of tries to bring me back in. And she doesn't let me date any of these wild women anymore. In fact, when a wild woman comes into this house, she kicks her out right away. So she's very good for me. So my new obsession, now that I'm not chasing girls anymore, is sports. And I've decided that since I am competent at 20 different sports, why not do a contest for 20 different sports? And I happened to meet the guy that owns the Old Sports Network, which said to me when he came to my estate here and saw that I have 10 sports going on at one place, he said, why don't you do an all sports contest and do it right here at your house? And I said, great idea, I'll do it, I'll definitely do it. I was playing with Jim Brown, who was the greatest athlete that's ever lived by far. He was the greatest football player, greatest lacrosse player, great basketball player, great tennis player, great golfer, great at everything he does. But he's too old and he doesn't play anymore. So I couldn't get any of my 80-year-old athletes to really show up. I even called Rod Laver, who was the #1 tennis player that ever lived, until we found a guy named Djokovic that showed up. But all these guys are too old. They just can't do it. So 80 years is an age where athletes say, I'm done. I'm not going to play any more sports. So that meant that my abilities to play all these sports at my age is certainly an achievement. And it's also a way to achieve maximum health and longevity.
How does it feel to be the most athletic man in the world over 80?
It feels great, but I have to make 10 in a row because Shaq can only make 1 out of 5, and so I got to make 10 in a row. I might do it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Nice.
One more, let's go. Oh my God.
Whoa.
You did it.
And you know, I was a basketball player. I played in college. I went to UCSB on a basketball scholarship. And even today, I had a gym inside my Beverly Hills home where Carrie and I used to play Olajuwon and Magic in basketball games inside my house. Crazy, I know, that's crazy. And I still, to this day, have been playing with guys like Jim Brown, Bruce Jenner, guys like that at the Playboy Mansion.
Magic Johnson.
And Magic, of course, Magic Johnson. So we've been playing up until now. Until recently, I decided to stop because I'm 80 years old and it's tough to get out there against these guys now. But anyway, basketball is definitely one of my passions and one of the 16 sports we're doing in this competition. And I just want to tell you that Carrie and I were a great team.
Yeah.
We would pass back and forth, go around our back and through our legs and all kinds of stuff and make crazy shots so we could beat anybody.
Steve is really, and he's a great shooter. And so that's one of the main things that plays phenomenal defense. So what made you a great shooter? You always had a phenomenal shot. I mean, even against the best pros in the world, he could still hold his own.
Well, the way I got to be a good shooter is I had polio when I was 6, so my legs, I was paralyzed. So I couldn't do anything with my legs for 3 years, but I could do this. So my mother would have me throwing balls back and forth, so I developed this wrist motion, which is what you need to be a good shooter, only because I had no legs. I had to do something. So all my life, I've always been good at doing stuff like that. So I throw a ball like that, I hit my serve like that, and I shoot like that. So it's all in the wrist. Okay, this is Aaron Wexler, and Woo! He and I played basketball with Olden Polynice was on Aaron's team, and Barry Bonds was on my team.
That's right.
This is the kind of people we had to play against. Aaron was a world-class volleyball player. He was a center for the Clippers. He was the greatest baseball hitter that ever lived and an all-around athlete. And these are the kind of guys we had to play with in these sports at Mike Scott's house. Olden can rebound.
Well, you can play, Steve.
I can play too.
Go make this shot.
Yeah.
Go get this on
No,
film.
I've done 10 in a row. I don't want to miss one and screw it up. I was a boxer in college. I got the shit kicked out of me a couple times. Do that a little bit, and then I'll do this one. I don't know which one of these. Ramona is a fitness teacher, trainer, so she should be able to run this hill, right? But she's not sure she can run it, but she'll do it for me anyway. Oh! Woo! Oh!
A little off-roading here.
Oh! Oh! Woo! Oh! Oh! Oh!
What's the importance of, it sounds like there's a real importance of sports and what you do for living a longer, healthier health and longevity. Is that true?
Yeah, the combination of cross-training, because that way you get every muscle in your body, that combined with stretching, which again gets every muscle in your body, and swimming, which swimming gives you a phenomenal kind of complement of what you're doing. These are all the guys that I played with. Bobby Riggs, Monica Seles, Bjorn Borg, Jimmy Connors, all these guys I played with or against in different tournaments.
You've hit.
This is pretty cool, a wall
Yeah.
of fame here.
So the way we do this is when you serve to the amateur, you get 2 serves, but they're both second serves.
There's no such thing for me. 2 first serves
Okay,
every
all
time.
right. Well, you
I
can.
like the one serve rule.
So I'm
Can we
just
play
playing.
with
So I'm
that?
just playing normal. Then.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm just.
Yeah,
it's,
we're
like,
play-
it's like every other match I've ever played. Okay.
Because he doesn't like the 1 serve rule. Because he.
Oh, the one serve rule's the best.
You
The
like
best-
that?
Best
Yeah.
rule in tennis.
Okay, can you do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I never
You
said
don't mind that?
Best rule. I think it's the best rule in tennis.
Okay.
Because it puts so much more pressure on it.
Okay. Now, when you serve to him, you can serve 140 miles an hour.
Yeah, he won't return it.
This is a non-amateurage. He's part of the most famous tennis family that's ever lived. His brother is Vijay Amatraj, and he and Vijay were one of the best doubles team in the world for several years. And he's still a great player, although he's got a few years past his really great period, but he's great. So he and I are going to play this team that we played last time, and we beat them, but they're very good, so we're going to be a tough match. But
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. No, we did. It's always fun to come here, Steve, and play on your grass court. The only grass court of its kind in the 10-mile radius. But Steve has always been a good friend, and I'm happy to be here.
why don't you tell him how many matches we won together?
We won a lot of matches together in pro celebrity tournaments and pro-am events all over Los Angeles and California, and I really lost count. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many we won. We won a lot, though.
That's
for
my
sure.
that's my best skill in tennis, picking a great partner. When I pick a great partner like this, I do very well.
Don't sell yourself short. You definitely hold up your own end.
Oh,
No
thanks,
question
thanks,
about that.
thanks.
So
All right,
should be fun.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna play right now. Are you guys ready? So I don't have anybody in my age group that is interested in athletics anymore because they've all given up. It's done. And my message to them and to anybody who's looking at this video is, hey, At 80 years old, that's the beginning of a great time to find that innermost, you might say, consciousness and spiritual path that is just sitting there waiting to bust out and to take you to amazing places and amazing consciousness experiences that we never knew about before because we were too busy chasing the almighty dollar. So 80 years old is a great age because it forces you to give up on the sports that are tough and push on to a higher consciousness. And that's what I'm trying to do. Today, I am going to run the Venice Beach, and I'm going to do some sprints, and then I'm going to swim from here down to the pier, which is a long enough swim to get a great cardio, and swimming is probably the best sport for getting all the muscles functioning properly. So swimming is key, and yoga is key. So I'm going to start now. This is where Natalie and I play tennis when we have a little free time. And this place has been the scene of the greatest tennis players in the world. Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Osaka, they've all played here. This is the premier location and the most famous tennis court in the world of its kind. The interesting thing about Goldstein is he talks a lot about following his passion, and his passion was to build this incredible thing. And his house is a Frank Lloyd Wright house. He's a good example of what I'm doing with this video. He's a guy in his 80s who's not giving up. He decided to follow his passion and do that which was innermost in his heart, from his inner soul. And so this creation that he did here was nothing but a big hill. This was just a big, gigantic hill, and he cut it down and built this incredible thing. So we are lucky to be on this historic place. This is probably the most famous tennis court in Beverly Hills after the Playboy Mansion. The Playboy Mansion was the most famous for sure. And I won about 5 Pro-Am tournaments there. I just played in a tournament here last weekend and got the shit kicked out of me by players that were younger by about 40 years than me. But I played a lot of tournaments on this court, and I absolutely love this court. And Natalie does too, right?
I do. It's fantastic. It's beautiful.
And Natalie, what do you think about us going around the parks in town and beating up on all these old guys? Do you love that?
It's an absolute dream. I take joy in beating people. So.
And you like beating up on guys that think they're better than you, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Because there's not many guys that are better than you. And so
or you.
Well, you and me together are pretty good.
Exactly.
We're a team. We go around and try to beat up people. But she's the best. She's amazing. Go!
I won!
Who won?
I won!
You won?
You're too slow! Good swimming, Steve! Good job!
Did you beat me by a lot?
I beat you by a little bit, by this much! Got you.
All right, these are my tennis guys. These two guys I've been playing with for 20, 30, 40 years, forever. And Steve used to be a professional tennis player, great athlete, and he's kind of helped my game because I was a beginner when I started playing with him. And Carrie he recognized that I had no forehand. And he said, you're winning a few matches maybe because you play with these pros, but you're never going to win yourself. So he taught me how to hit a forehand. And now I think I have a forehand a bit. And Chase has got the second biggest serve you're going to see here today. There's one guy hits 140. He only hits 130, but he hits hard enough to kill. Please don't hit any of the Gophers.
You want to hit the
Or my cat. Don't hit my cat, please.
Don't hit your cat.
This video is about doing all these sports and showing all these sports and making this an integral part of my life and a lot of my friends' lives. But again, it's really something that is way beyond sports. It's another dimension to what sports is. And so sports is great only if it takes you somewhere. And this is where we want it to go.